My name is Angela Crandall and I'm Research Manager at iHub. I wanted to give an opportunity for the online audience and global community to meet our Umati monitors. For the past 9 months, we've been monitoring the online space for dangerous speech as part of our Umati Project. And for the first time, we're actually giving recognition to our monitors who are behind our project, a very important part of the process. And as our phase 1 of the Umati Project comes to a close, we'd like to acknowledge the hard work of our monitors and offer you the opportunity to get to know them a bit better. So without further ado, I'll introduce Kagonya Awori, who's the research lead on the project, to speak to our monitors.
Okay, thank you very much for that. So I'll give each of you an opportunity to introduce yourselves and talk on which language you're monitoring. So we'll start with you.
Hello, my name is Shamsa Adas Amin. I monitor Somali language. And I've been monitoring since February to May this year.
Great.
I'm Faith Mwanara. I'm monitoring Swahili and Shing, and I've been in the project for 9 months.
My name is Terry Musalia. I'm monitoring the Luya language, and I've been here since October last year.
Hi, I'm Stephen Kipande. I'm monitoring Kikuyu language since September last year.
Hey, I'm Elvis Nyamolo. I've been monitoring the Luo language. I've been in the project for 4 months.
Hi, I'm Anthony Metet. I've been monitoring the Kalenjin language, and I've been involved in the project since its inception 9 months ago.
That's really good. So we'll just go over a few questions so that we can get a feel of what the Umati Project is about, especially from your perspective, because you're the ones who are dealing with this data every single day. So what I'd like to know is, why would you say the Umati Project is relevant to you? Probably we'll start with Stephen so we can change the order a bit. Okay. Why was the Umati Project relevant to you?
I think it's relevant to me because it's one way through which we can reduce the level of at which people are causing conflicts, especially youths, through abusive language in Facebook and other social media. So you can see that if there is continued monitoring and ways of minimizing that spread of that abusive messages, then I think we can reduce anything that can cause violence in the future.
What did you say?
I think it was important in that at the end of the project, we'll be having a code which can be used to help in policy making and guide even in law enactment.
Shamsa, what do you think?
I think this project is very important because it helped us to know what causes conflict, and it's
say is that from the Umati Project, I've been able to learn a lot in terms of getting to know what actually the masses think about what they post online, basically what they really have internally, because they're able to vent it out on the social media. And in a way, you find that it helps them in a way to vent out the anger, and which if we look at it, we try to find a way that what's the impact that it has on the ground. That is when we look at the online hate speech and the impact that it has on the ground in general.
Starting with Faith, could you tell us what are the next steps for Umati or for yourself after you've been a monitor on this project? How has it impacted you now?
So, Umati has been retail. Actually, the skills I've gained from this knowledge, nothing can do justice to that. So, to me, it has impacted a lot because I've come to realize that one should be responsible, especially in what you post out there, because you don't know who you're insulting outside there. To you, it could be just an innocent post, but there's someone out there who will take it offended, and that could lead to violence and all that. So we should be responsible on what we post, actually, and also in case you get someone spreading hate speech or something, you should actually take control and maybe reduce or.
Could you expand on the places she did? Like, what would you do if you came across hate speech online?
I think as a monitor, just as Anthony
As
said,
Anthony, yes.
there's nothing much I can do it. But I think the person who can do a lot is the government.
Okay.
Yeah, because online hate speech is just an evil activity, just like stealing and other things. And they cannot say you can educate people to stop stealing, because stealing has always been there for a long time. So in the same manner, we can educate people to stop online hate speech, but to reduce it to a very small amount. So I think the government should take responsibility of maybe enacting laws and forming maybe agencies that can take care of online hate speech by identifying the hate speech perpetrators, prosecuting them. They usually do it with other people in the society like murderers, etc.
Terry, do you agree? Yes.
I really don't agree with that. Okay, I think the government can do something, yeah? But I also think that if you keep repeating something to yourself, or just to the masses, over and over again, it becomes your belief system. What if we have a step where we change our belief system? We start throwing positive measures out there. Yeah.
So changing the rhetoric to be more positive.
Yeah, you can do something.
Okay.
We can't all just rely on the government.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your influence?
I also think about changing the beliefs of somebody is also a bit hard. To me, I think the first initiative that I would take is to talk to that person, the person who is maybe spreading that dangerous speech. Talk to him or her, either through online, that can post something positive to discourage that the same person from posting another before message. Then from there, maybe this person can also be advised. It's not good. The person can be castled instead of like, oh, you want to harass him or her. Because after harassing this person, next step, she wants out to do something bigger than that, which, I mean, you should aim at, not causing more harm. Then after all these steps have been taken, then the government should step in through various means to curb those evil messages done through social media. I think that's the steps I can take.
So what I'm hearing is there's government action, but it's on a larger scale. So the government can help curb hate speech by taking a more active role, or which they're already doing. But I would say the better ways of doing this, or the personal ways of doing it, instead of only wholeheartedly relying on the government, is changing the rhetoric where we, as you said, we change our thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can just write to that person and tell them this is not okay. You know, tell them something positive.
So we as the online users, when we see this hate speech online and we see this dangerous speech and inflammatory speech, we can take the active role of sending a message and saying, do not do this, or reasons why this is inflammatory even to me or to my neighbor. Then another role we can take, Don mentioned of increasing the positive speech. So you attack the bad by increasing more good. Okay. Any other contributing factors from that? Shamsa?
I wanted to contribute on the government side. I think hate speech is very dangerous because sometimes you can see online when someone says, for example, I'm a Somali, you can say Somalia Al-Shabaab, and maybe this person knows your identity. And sometimes you will find this person saying, oh, you're attacking Somalis, I will come to kill you, for example, because I know your identity. Those some of the incidents I found in the western parts of Kenya because the city is too small. I think the government, we should involve the government. We should involve the government in this situation. Maybe even they can assist us to introduce a system where they at least have people who can educate them. Some of the tribes, all of the tribes about hate speech, and to show the parents they should educate their children about this. Because some of the people, you will find some of the people saying, for example, Somalis are bad because the grandparent had told me this. Yeah, so it's really good.
So increasing civic education around this and allowing us to even recognize all communities and all tribes and increasing this education. That's a really good thing. So finally, what advice would you give based on your experience? Let's start with you. What advice would you give based on your experience in the Umati Project? Very related to this.
That is a key. As much as controlling whatever content is put online is so hard, you actually have to get down to the masses, like in various ways, either going down to them and carrying out workshops and trying to educate them like on a face-to-face basis and trying to tell them, look, whatever you post online, these are the possibilities of the outcome, and from that you are able to divert the attention from the negative part to the positive part. So from that, we actually holding the workshops, we will do a lot in trying to cap this, because as much as we're trying to put it online, I'll say not everyone will really be in a position to have a grasp at it, but if we get down to the masses, that will really help a lot in trying to educate the masses on what is supposed and is expected of them.
Shamsa, you mentioned families. What advice would you give based on your experience? What advice would you give to families in order to have hate speech?
To families, I will advise the parent not to talk bad things about other community, so that because the children when they are too young, what they hear is what they will do. Because if your mom tells you Shamsa is bad, you will believe that's because my mom told me this, so it's bad. So I would advise the parent to educate their children not to be racist or extremist.
Terry or Stephen, one of you mentioned education. So to school. So Terry, what advice would you give schools based on your experience in Umati? Is there any
I
advice?
would say that, especially teachers, they have a lot of influence. They stay with the kids like most of the hours. I would tell them to teach their kids not to pass their stereotyping to the kids. Teach them positive, mix them around. Just show them we are all humans. There's nothing different between us. We all bleed, we all die, we all miss.
Stephen, you had mentioned putting out positive content. So I'm guessing to the online users. What advice would you give online users based on your experience?
For online users, I would say, like, if I'm afraid, especially in the case of Facebook, have a friend who is spreading hate speech. To me, I think the best way is to counsel him and give him a reply by using a positive message. Or you can also dislike that person, because by the time you are dissociating such kind of people, this person will not have, will lack that attention from the people to keep on spreading this message. So with that, I think it will be a bit good. And again, I'm saying for places like the blogs, there are blogs which should be blocked, which are propagating hate speech, like the cases we have seen recently. Yeah, maybe I think that's what I would say to the social things.
Okay. So finally, Faith, what advice would you give based on your experience? Maybe there's a body we've not mentioned. Talk about the masses, schools, parents. What advice would you give?
Basically, my advice would be, let's be responsible for what we say, just that be responsible for your life. Because we don't know. We will be listening and we don't know what come up from what you say. Just be responsible.
Very responsible. Okay, that's very good advice. Thank you very much for your input. It was great having you on the Umati team. You made the Umati team, you made a project. It's thanks to all your hard work and research that you got this far, and you're really excited. So that's the end of phase 1 of Umati, but we look forward to having a phase 2, which we'll communicate with the public when it's solidified. Okay then, so thank you for taking the time to join us today as we talk about Umati. Bye.